Good morning. This is Dr. CJ with Pura Vida Wellness. Welcome back to day 4 of the Ultimate Fasting Experience. We are, as a group, coming together and we are taking 7 days to learn, to improve, to clean out our cells, to show up for us. We're taking 7 days to take a stand for loving and showing up for ourselves. And that's what it means when you take positive actions towards better health. It means that you are showing love for yourself, nurturing for yourself. It means that you care so much about your family and your loved ones that you are willing to do whatever it takes to be the best, healthiest version of you. And we all are here for a purpose. There's no mistake that you're here. You're here for a purpose. You matter. Your life matters. You have something to give this planet, this world, your family, your loved ones, that no one else has to give. You are here to make a difference that no one else can make. You matter. And that's why I show up, because I want to be my best, most amazing, healthiest, loving self, so that I can make a difference, that I can help you not suffer, not struggle. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to struggle. So this is day 4 of the Ultimate Fasting Experience. And we have been coming together on a daily basis. And many of you have been watching the recordings. Many of you have been participating in our group chat. If you've registered for the experience, you've been invited into our Telegram group chat. It's a secure texting platform. And most of you are following one of the weekly schedules. So we have 3 choices during the 7-day Ultimate Fasting Experience. And I'm going to be continuing to do this Ultimate Fasting Experience this very same way every quarter. So this is the beginning of quarter 2. Welcome, quarter 2. Have you spent some time thinking about what you want your life to look like in the next 90 days? That's what I did this weekend at my river house. I went away. I removed myself from the hustle and bustle of the city and just sat with, okay, where have I been? Did I attain and make the steps and the growth and the improvements? And did I touch the lives that I wanted to touch in January, February, March? Where am I now, and where do I want to be 90 days from now, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? So at the beginning of every quarter, I've already scheduled it out until January 24. So we will be doing another live Ultimate Fasting Experience beginning of quarter 3, which will be the 2nd week in July, because July 4th runs into the 1st week. And then we're going to be doing another Ultimate Fasting experience the 1st week in October, and then again the 2nd week in January. So those are all scheduled out. So I encourage you to look at this as something that every quarter you can just kind of get a reset in for yourself. You know, give yourself the time and the space just to look at, how am I doing with my life? How is my health? Am I spending time on me? Do you have a daily morning routine? Are you getting outside and letting the sun into your eyes? Are you taking off your shoes and walking barefooted on the grass? That's what I do every single morning. That's one of the first things I do, is I get up out of bed. Well, the first thing is I pour some coffee. And as soon as I pour that coffee, I open up the front door and I go outside with my dogs, and I'm barefooted and I stand on the grass and I ground myself. And I think about all the amazing things that I'm grateful for and how blessed my life is. So my spiritual message to you this morning for the next 2 minutes. And again, I apologize that I was started a little late this morning. I had some updates on my computer that did not allow me to get started on time. So we're here. I'm going to go for 30 minutes, but my spiritual message to you this morning is this. Isn't life amazing? Oh my gosh, aren't we just so blessed to be alive and to have these physical bodies? And did you know that you have freedom to do anything you want to do. Nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. We have total freedom. And I believe that whatever's showing up for you in your life right now, whether it's, I don't know, financial problems, whether it's, health problems, depression, problems at work, I believe, this is for me, and I'm not putting any shame on you, that we are responsible for what is showing up, that we create our circumstances, we create our life based on how we think and how we feel. Because see, when you feel joyous and loving and energetic, you're going to attract in that same frequency, that same vibration. But when you feel down and angry and resentful and unloved, see, my whole physical being changed when I tried to get into that space. You're going to attract in issues and problems and struggles and people that don't appreciate you or respect you. But when you look up at the sky and you see the blue color and the colors in the flowers and the full spectrum of universal magnificence that surrounds us, and you focus on that, and you believe that you are choosing your life, that you can change whatever's going on right now. So my challenge to you this morning, and my impetus to you this morning, is look at your life, and look at something in your life that you don't like. Just one thing. And I want you to write it down. So if you're watching me live in Facebook, please give me a #1. Tell me if you're a part of the experience and where you're from and what you want to improve with your life. If you're listening to the replay, give me a #2. Tell me where you're from. So this is what I want you to do. If you're hearing my voice, if you're seeing me, whether it's live or sometime later, I want you to pause the video, and I want you to take out a piece of paper, and I want you to write down something in your life that you're not happy with. And then I want you to just sit in silence and just focus on your breath. And I want you to think about that thing that you're not happy with from a solution-oriented frequency. And I want you to just ask for answers on what you could do to change that thing that you're not happy with, and just wait for the answers to come. So that's my little spiritual tidbit for the morning. So today's day 4 of the ultimate fasting experience. We are exactly halfway through our 7-day experience. We started Sunday, day 1. We are now on day 4. We're going to go 5, 6, and 7. So we've got 3 days on either side. We're in the middle on day 4. Most of you are choosing the weekly schedule, whether it's a beginner, intermediate, or advanced schedule, where I have provided guides to you to tell you exactly when to eat and not eat. So that's the beauty of fasting variation. The other part of you, a very small group of you, are doing the Prolon plant-based fasting mimicking kit. So it's something where you're eating foods, but it's out of 20 years of research. Dr. Walter Longo, who is the father of longevity science, the longevity diet, back here on my bookshelf. And you're getting all the benefits of a 5-day water fast, but you're eating healthy plant-based foods in a kit. My price for the kit, if you use my login, my website, is only $148. The retail price online is $185. So my price is lower than any price that you can get. And then there's actually a pretty large group of you as well. I think there's around 7 of you. And Kat, I know, joined in yesterday, that are doing a pure water fast. So as long as you've registered for this experience, and at this point, I think it's a little late. If you do register today, I'll still send you the guides, but pretty much if you haven't participated by now, you're probably not going to. But as long as you register, you're going to get all of my support. You're going to get all of the free guides that I've put together. I spent hours putting together these water fasting guides, fasting variation guides. I have grocery lists that you can take with you to the store to make sure that you're buying healthy, clean foods that support this ultimate fasting experience. We also have recipes that are healthy foods that I'm encouraging you to eat. And then I've got the 3 weekly schedules. And I think I actually included the first chapter of my book for anybody that registered as well. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about for the next 10 minutes today. And I got off a little bit yesterday because I didn't have my 5-day water fast guide in front of me. I was at my river house. I'm back home now. So what I'm doing is each day of the ultimate fasting experience, to make sure that we dive deep into the benefits and the reasons why you should even care about fasting, is I'm covering one of the 7 benefits of fasting each day. So the first day of the experience, we covered autophagy, cellular eating. It's basically the body's process of going in and cleaning up and brushing out and scouring out all old, worn out, diseased cells, tissue, any organic material in your body that's not serving you, that's not 100% healthy. Cancer cells, yes, we all have some of them, precancerous cells. When you turn on autophagy, which typically most people say 17, some experts are saying 24, but when you turn on autophagy, which typically starts turning on like a dimmer switch at around hour 17 of no eating, and that's easy to do on a daily basis and still eat lots of food. You can go 17, 18 hours very easily and still eat lots of food in a 4, 5, 6 hour eating window and still get the benefits of healing and cleansing your cells on a daily basis by learning the tools and the resources and the strategies that I'm teaching you here in the Ultimate Fasting Experience, and the resources, tools, and strategies that I teach you on a regular basis to my clients, into Facebook on in my free community group, which is Dr. Pudavee the Wellness with Dr. CJ Benkert. And I also implore you to please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notifications button. I have hundreds of videos in my YouTube channel, Dr. CJ Benkert, where I'm teaching you and giving you the steps and the knowledge to take your health from here to here. So that's what I'm all about. I'm all about loving you and teaching you and inspiring you and empowering you and educating you to make good choices, and to let you know and to get you to believe that your body can heal. If you're breathing and you're not 6 feet under, your body can heal. As long as you give your body the good stuff and take away the bad stuff, your body can heal. So autophagy is, if you were to summarize it kind of in a one sentence thing, autophagy is the process in the body that occurs when you're not eating for at least 17 hours that reverses and turns back the biological clock to create younger, healthier cells. Oh my goodness, who doesn't want that? I want that. Okay. Day 2, we covered stem cells, brand new, undifferentiated cells that once you clean out all the junk, all the bad cells, all the bad parts in your body, stem cells start rising typically day 3, day 4 of a fast, and stay at a high level for 3 or 4 or 5 days, a couple of weeks later, so that when you clean out and take the bad stuff out. So if you don't have weight to lose, but you lose 3 or 4 pounds during a water fast or intermittent fasting or the Prolon, it's okay, because you're going to lose 3, 4, 5 pounds of weight that's not healthy weight. And then when you start eating healthy foods, which we're going to cover in detail Friday, Saturday, you now have these stem cells circulating through your body that can be changed into any cell that you need: a cartilage cell, collagen, an eye cell, a kidney cell. If you've got old, worn out intestinal cells that are leaky gut, creating dysbiosis and autoimmune, the stem cells can now differentiate into brand new intestinal cells, epithelial cells. We can rebuild and renew our body. Autophagy, recycling, taking away stem cells regenerating, repairing, renewing brand new cells. And then yesterday we talked about energy diversion, which is actually the fourth benefit of fasting. So today I'm going to cover ketones because I skipped that yesterday because I didn't have my 7 benefits of fasting in front of me. Okay, so ketones. What are ketones? I can't talk about ketones without talking about what are the 2 main fuels that your cells can use. And most of you know that I absolutely love cells. There's 50 to 100 trillion cells in our body. But as I'm going on this journey and as I'm learning more and studying and researching and going to conferences and listening to the experts and reading the books and seeing the cutting edge science of what's evolving on a regular basis, not quite, but you all know that I've told you, I love cells. I am the cellular healing doctor. I love teaching people how to heal at a cellular level. But you know what has maybe even equaled that, or maybe even slightly surpassed my love of cells? There's 50 to 100 trillion cells in the body. You know what's inside these cells? Mitochondria. These are the energy factories in the cell. So there's only 2 forms of fuel. There's either sugar or fat. And that's the only thing that your mitochondria and each cell, and I'm going to read from a book called Fat for Fuel by Dr. Joseph Mercola. Each cell on average has somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 mitochondria within the cell. Oh my goodness. So these mitochondria is what creates energy. Life is energy. Energy is life. If you don't have energy, you can't heal. If you don't have energy, you can't kill viruses. If you don't have energy, you can't ward off cancer. If you don't have energy, you cannot enjoy your life. So it's all about energy. The number one thing that my clients or my what I would call like somebody interested that gets with me and starts talking to me about, okay, what's your program all about? And, you know, how can you help me? And I sit down and I talk to them about what's going on with their health, and I find out where they are and, you know, what are they struggling with? You know, what's their frustration? You know, because most of us are stuck and we're struggling because most of us are trying to do it alone. Society has taught us that you have to be strong, and you do it alone, and you climb the corporate ladder. And as long as you're kicking everyone down beside you, and as long as you make it to the top, you know, voila, you know, success is born. That's not true. We're tribal in nature. So the number one thing that people tell me that they want to change with their health, the number one thing that is bothering the people that I meet with, hundreds of people, you know, that I meet with on a regular basis, that I talk to, and we have heart-to-heart discussions about their health. The number one complaint: energy. That's the number one complaint. People are tired. And do you know why? Because people do not have healthy mitochondria. And the mitochondria can only use sugar or fat. So when you eat healthy fat, or when you're in a state of fat burning, nutritional ketosis, you produce ketones, and ketones can be used by the mitochondria, just like sugar can, but ketones can be used by the mitochondria to make energy, which is ATP. It's the energy currency in the body. But when you use ketones for fuel and your mitochondria are healthy, you're going to produce 3 times as much energy with healthy fats that you're eating or fat that you're burning in your body by being in nutritional ketosis than when you're burning carbohydrates, which turn into sugar. You get 3 times the amount of energy when you use ketones for fuel instead of sugar. So do you want to be a fat burner Or do you want to be a sugar burner? Fat burner or sugar burner? Fat burner or sugar burner? If you're listening to me, if you're watching this video, I want you to post in the Facebook or in the Zoom, fat burner or sugar burner? What do you want to be, a fat burner or a sugar burner? Okay, in conclusion, I'm going to read a few excerpts from this book. One of my mentors. I have been following Dr. Joseph Mercola for probably 30 years. Yes, Kat says, I want to be a fat burner. Woohoo! Fat burners, yay! Fat burners unite. Okay, Fat for Fuel, Dr. Joseph Mercola. Get this book. It's very detailed, it's very scientific, but you can get through it. I've probably gone through this book at least 5 times. I have it highlighted and checked off. And what's so cool is this book, which I've also talked about a lot, Cancer is a Metabolic Disease. Dr. Thomas Seyfried is the one that actually started talking about the mitochondria, the health of the mitochondria. And we're now realizing that most, if not all, chronic degenerative diseases that we're suffering from, cancer, diabetes, stroke, autoimmune, circulatory problems, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all of these diet-related, lifestyle-related, toxic-related diseases have as their commonality mitochondrial dysfunction. So you've heard me talk a lot about the cells. So the cells have a fat bilayer. So they have 2 layers of fat, the cell membrane. And you've heard me talk about, if you don't fix the cell, you cannot get well. You must fix the cell if you want to get well. You must fix the cell if you want to get your energy back. You must fix the cell if you want to reverse your diabetes. You must fix the cell if you want to keep yourself from getting cancer. You must fix the cell, the neurons in the brain, if you don't want to get Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. So there's a membrane and there's 20,000 receptors on the outside of every cell. So that's a big part of the puzzle. You've heard me talk about that. I've done many lessons and teachings on that. But what's inside the cell, 1,000 to 2,000 mitochondria, guess what? They have a membrane too. So if your cellular membrane is sick and inflamed and clogged and not letting good things in and bad things out, the same thing happens to the mitochondrial membrane, and you can't make energy. So it goes even deeper than the cell membrane. It actually goes down to the mitochondria. Okay, so let's read just a few pages from Fat for Fuel by Dr. Joseph Mercola. And this will conclude today's lesson. And I'm still within the 30 minutes. Awesome. Okay. In order to regain your body's ability to burn ketones, oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let's go back. Wrong page. Okay. All right, you guys ready? Meet your mitochondria. Mitochondria are tiny organelles. Think of them as micro organs contained within nearly all your cells. One of their main critical roles is to produce energy by combining nutrients from the sugars and fats you eat with oxygen from the air you breathe. Listen to this, you guys. Mitochondria account for 10% of your body weight. Oh my gosh, with approximately 10 million billion. How much is that? 10 million billion within the cells of an average adult. You have 10 million billion mitochondria in your body. 50 to 100 trillion cells, but 10 million billion mitochondria. Okay, most cells, including liver cells, have somewhere between 80 and 2,000 mitochondria. The more metabolically active cells are, such as those found in the heart, brain, liver, kidneys, and muscles, the more mitochondria, because they need more energy, right? Mitochondria continuously generate energy molecules called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Are you curious, as I was, to know how much ATP is generated? Mitochondria produce 110 pounds of ATP every day, pumping out 10,000 times more energy, gram for gram, than the sun every second. Do you see why I'm starting to fall in love with mitochondria? And as much as I love cells, I'm now going a little bit deeper into the mitochondria. Okay, so every cell in your body needs a continuous supply of energy. Most of that energy is produced by your mitochondria through a process which involves two essential biological functions required to sustain life: breathing and eating. So the mitochondria use oxygen and either ketones or sugar. This process is called oxidative phosphorylation, and it's responsible for producing energy in the form of ATP. And here's a really cool, interesting fact, which is actually the bulk of this book, Cancer as a Metabolic Disease. This process is in contrast to cancer cells, which rely more on metabolizing glucose outside of the mitochondria to produce energy in a less efficient process called glycolysis. It's actually a fermentation process that does not use oxygen, and it's an ancient form of our cells. And it's the cell going back to an ancient form, and the cellular changes in the mitochondria that go from using oxygen, oxidative phosphorylation, to fermentation happen first before you start seeing DNA changes in a cancer cell. What does that tell you? And that's why this title, Cancer as a Metabolic Disease. We've been taught since 1970, when the Cancer Act came into play with President Nixon, that cancer is a genetic disease. They have not been able to prove that. We now are learning, and we have been learning for the last 10, 15 years, that every cancer cell has the same commonality, which is the mitochondria stop using oxygen, stop using the normal form of utilizing energy, and they go back to an ancient form of fermentation, and then the DNA change, and then cancer is expressed. You see why I'm loving mitochondria? Okay, just a couple more things that I want to read from this book. All right, so here's the next part. And this is what's so exciting to me, and why I'm really falling in love with the powerhouses. I kind of look at the mitochondria like his Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse! The mitochondria are strong. They produce energy. It has everything to do with your level of health. And if you're not affecting the health of your mitochondria by creating metabolic flexibility, by learning how to fast, intermittent fast, varying your diet, varying your fast, getting those mitochondria strong and flexible so they can easily go back and forth between fat and sugar, because 88% of Americans are stuck in sugar burning. 88% of Americans are insulin resistant, metabolic resistant, weight loss resistant, thyroid resistant. Anything that says resistance is the receptors not listening to the hormones and not allowing your body to function properly. It's not a hormone problem. It's an insulin receptor problem, and even deeper than that, it's a mitochondria problem. In order to regain your body's ability to burn ketones as your primary fuel, you must focus on increasing your intake of healthy fats and decreasing your consumption of carbs in order to keep your blood glucose levels low. Now, here's the important part. This is what mitochondrial metabolic therapy is engineered to do. Mitochondrial metabolic therapy, which is discussed in detail in this book, very difficult to read, is the new healing, health, nutrition, energy science So if you want to get better, if you want to feel better, if you want to be your best, healthiest self, you need to learn how to get these mitochondria really healthy. You need to learn how to get these cells really healthy, because that's where all the mitochondria are. And one of the most amazing, most powerful things you can do to get your body healthy from the inside out at a cellular and even deeper, a mitochondrial level, is fasting. There is nothing more powerful to turn on healing, to increase your energy, to turn back the biological clock, to create younger, newer, healthier cells than fasting. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm taking my time out to show up, because I want to reach as many people as possible during my lifetime. I want to end as much suffering as possible during my lifetime by teaching you the truth. And the truth is, you can heal. The truth is, you don't have to accept what's going on in your life right now. You don't have to accept that unhealthy relationship. You don't have to accept that job. You don't have to accept waking up in the morning and being so exhausted that you don't even want to live, that you can't even face another day. You can change your health and your life and your thoughts by focusing on the health of your body, my 12 core concepts. And these are all taught for free on my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel, start learning about how to take care of your body. So that's what the Ultimate Fasting Experience is all about. It's empowering you and showing up to support you and guide you and supervise you, because I don't want you fasting unsupervised. You don't want to just start fasting on your own. It's very healthy and safe. In fact, you know what the world's record is? I don't know if I said this on another call or not. I don't think I did. We're getting at the 30-minute mark. The world's record for pure water fasting, 382 days. 382 days. That's the world record. That's what we know of. And this gentleman started off, I think, at 400 pounds and went all the way down to like his normal healthy weight, whatever that was, like, let's say 150, 180, 382 days. So whatever percentage of body fat you are, and most people that I meet in my clinic or most of my remote clients that I help all over the world, most of them are starting anywhere from 35 to 50% body fat, which is way too high. We're supposed to be 25% body fat tops. So when you have 35, 40, 45, 50% body fat, you have, a good 60, 70, 80 extra pounds of just body fat. You can use that fat as fuel. And Kat is fasting right now. She's on day 2 of a pure water fast. And that's what she's using right now for energy. You don't have to be tired or not be able to go to work or do what you want to do during a fast, because every pound of fat that you have stored in your body over the years is the equivalent of 3,500 calories of fuel. It's like eating 3,500 calories of food. And most people that are water fasting or intermittent fasting or doing any of the different experiences that I've provided for you this week, you're going to be burning through anywhere from 1/4 of a pound to 1/2 to a full pound of fat per day. So you're going to be getting an extra 3,500 divided by 4. You're going to be getting an extra, 700 calories, all the way up to 3,500 extra calories, because you're going to use your fat as fuel, your unhealthy fat as fuel instead of sugar. And part of that fat burning process is you're also going to be going in and eating up disease, unwanted, unhealthy tissue at the same time. All right, that's day 4. That is my teaching and my educational piece on ketones. Tomorrow is day 5. Tomorrow we're going to talk about hormone optimization. Reach out to me, ask me questions, register for the fast if you want all of the guides and weekly schedules. And just know that I'll be showing up doing this Ultimate Fasting Experience every quarter so that we can come together as a group and support each other, and we can reset our health and start a brand new quarter, fresh and new and clean, because every single day you can start over. Today's a new day. Today's a brand new day. Dr. Wayne Dyer talked about a boat. Today is the boat, and you're going forward. And when the boat is propelled forward to the future that you want, what's propelling the boat forward? Is it the wake left behind you? Is it your past? What showed up for you yesterday, or what happened to you in your childhood, or your beliefs? Is it the wake, the trail of your past that pushes you forward? No, you know what pushes you forward and brings you to the life that you want is now. The energy and the decisions and the emotions that you feel right now is what's going to dictate where you go next minute, 5 minutes, hour, the next 2 years, 5 years. It's how you're feeling and how you're thinking now. So let go of yesterday, has nothing to do with today, and decide what you want for your future. And you can create anything you want. This is a playground of choices and freedom. Take advantage of that. Have an amazing, blessed day. I love and support and honor every single one of you, wherever you are in your journey. I'm here to love you and accept you unconditionally, no matter what. So let me know how I can serve you. You're welcome, Kat.